Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video, and this is page one for my double layout. So I kind of just roughly laid out all the photos so I would know at least where the photos would be on both pages, and now I'm trying to decide what papers will be on both pages. And then I'll kind of just focus on this left-hand one. I really wanted to use some yellow because our hotel building has all these fun colors on it. So I knew I wanted to use like a navy paper. I wanted yellow to be the main secondary color just to really tie into the photos. And there's a little bit of pink on the name of the hotel on that building, so I thought it'd be nice to pull in just little touches of pink. So again, I'm trying to line up all the photos. The next photo has those three photos in a row that goes top to bottom, so I kind of know that's what's going to meet in the middle. And so I wanted these photos to run and look like it was one big page. So I'm deciding this navy's going to run off of this page, and then pick up on the other side of the photos on the second layout, and then the yellow is going to kind of just fill in the rest of the 12 by 12, which I thought would be nice because the stripes aren't going to be busy and run into all the other stuff I'm doing, but I still get a nice chunk of that on there. So you can see that visually. So this first layout, I'm already just trying to pull in the cut aparts that are jumping out to me that I want to use. I wanted to use this big yellow one, and then these really dark navy die cuts I thought just popped on this page, so I really wanted to tie those in too. There's a couple die cuts that come in the pack that are together, and they're perforated so you could pull them apart if you wanted, but I feel like this piece, I really like how it looks together, and part of me wants to not be wasteful and pull apart everything to use it individually, but then I'm like, she wouldn't have printed these and made them stuck together if she didn't intend for people to use them together. So I'm making myself use a couple of these pieces as whole pieces, and then other ones you'll see me pull apart and use separately. But I just thought that one was perfect for this page. It has all the colors I'm trying to incorporate some gold foil, so that was kind of my challenge, to start pulling in some gold. The little navy journaling piece at the top on the right side, that also has a gold hole reinforcer. So I'm like, okay, my gold is already kind of balanced. We're working out okay. This escape I pulled in is also gold. So I'm thinking I'll just have a little pop of gold on these two pages. And so I'm trying to just keep ahead of that. There's, I think I had a navy, or I had a different colored banner underneath this big die cut, but I switched it out to gold. Yeah, I had navy. I'm going to switch that out to gold once we get going, just because I realize I need to incorporate more gold. But I kind of roughly laid out the page, and now I'm like, okay, I need to actually piece together the background so I can start gluing stuff down. So I went ahead and took off the branding strip, and I decided to give it some torn detail since there's still not a lot of paper layers. This is the beginning of the month, so I try not to do super layery layouts, just because I don't have any scraps accumulated yet, and it hurts me to cut into too many 12 by 12s for one layout. So I'm just decided to tear that navy so there's a little bit of texture on the edge of that as it overlaps the yellow. And then I decided to actually run the yellow stripe horizontally instead of vertically as it was printed. So I'm just trying to find a way to piece these together, and maybe I do it in a weird way, but it works out for me. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm gonna salvage and cut, and then these scraps will go towards page number 2, because I've already kind of decided that page is going to use the same papers as the background, so it all looks like one. But here's the background. I'm pretty sure I will gut maybe I don't gut the back. Oh, I don't gut the blue ships because there's multiple papers in this paper pad. That's the navy blue ship patent print. So I actually don't gut it on this one. But yeah, this is where once I relay everything down, I'm like, okay, let's like figure out the colors and what else I need to pull in to make sure it's all balanced. So that's when I kind of notice the gold. I switch out, or I add this gold tab to the top of that die cut just for another pop of gold. But then I will eventually switch out that navy banner to gold banner as well. So I'm gonna get that stuck down. I'm gonna shift this down a smidgen. I really like this aqua seashell that's going to go in the upper right hand corner because there's an aqua seashell in the other cluster. So I kind of like that that's balanced. I thought this was just going to be like a navy and yellow page, so I thought it'd be easy for me to match all the colors, but then it's like, oh, there's also gold, and then it's like, it's not just navy, there's also aqua, and then, you know, we're throwing in those pops of pink. So it actually was more colors to keep track of than I was used to. But with there being the sun and the sunshine in that one cluster, I wanted a circular pop of yellow. There was a yellow sticker that says hi. So, or I think that was a die cut, but I popped that up on some foam to go sit on the seashell. And now I am trying to slowly stick down all of these bits and pieces. Everything's still moving because I haven't committed yet, but I like how this is looking. And I like how it kind of builds to a crescendo along the right-hand side because that's where it will meet the second page. So I think it's really nice, the focal points towards kind of what the middle of the double will be versus the middle of the singular layout. But I did want another layer, and I wasn't going to cut into another 12 by 12, so I decided just to do this scallopy border punch on a scrap piece of white. I thought the scallops would kind of emphasize the waves, so in the seashell, the scallop on the seashell. But I just wanted an extra layer to tuck under just to kind of break these layers apart from the background, give you another layer, and have the detail of the scallop, which I thought was nice. So I'm just trying to figure out how much of that I want showing. I'll trim that down a little bit. At some point during this layout, I kind of get to a point where I'm like, oh, I really need to kind of do the second page and then come back and finish the finishing touches so that it's all cohesive with the second page. I usually scrapbook doubles together at the same time, unless it's a kit that gives you the guidelines, you know. So this one, I was determined to make two separate videos because I know this month is already going to be slower on videos with Marcus and I going on our honeymoon. So I decided to force myself to do them separately so that you can have two separate videos. So there won't be this huge gap of no videos this month. But it did kind of like, it made this process a little weird because at some point I stop this, I start the second video, and then I come back and do final touches and forget to film it, unfortunately. But most of it's done here. It's really just like literally Nuvo drops and Heidi Swapp color shine that I add. But you'll see that, I guess, in part 2. But now I'm going to get all of this trimmed. Any part of this cut apart that's going to be hidden, I cut, and I'm going to save that. I don't know if I'm going to tuck it underneath like this, or if I will just save it to go on the companion page so that that yellow journaling spot is kind of in two places, just to really tie in the two pages together, which I decide to do. I decided not to use it on this one. It was just looking kind of awkward. So I'm just going to get all this stuff glued down. And then this upper left-hand corner is just very open, and I was kind of thinking I would do an embellishment cluster or something up there, but I kind of changed my mind, so I will end up moving up there once I kind of get this part situated. But I really like how it's looking so far. I just feel like it's missing that one element in the upper left-hand corner, so I'm trying to go through my bits. Because it's going to go on the yellow stripe, I'm looking for one of those darker navy pieces. And some gold, but I found this piece, which I really, really like. It has that navy, it has the gold, it's on theme, it's something about adventure, but I just feel like that white was popping in, it was just fading back into that stripe too much, so I do pop that up on some foam to give it a little bit of dimension, which helps a lot. But I felt like I wanted more than just that one sticker up there in that corner. And I just was having a really difficult time finding things to layer behind it because it's this large circular piece. So that kind of gives me some trouble. And I decided to ignore it for a moment and stop and thread my tag. So I just used some white and gold twine for that. I really liked using the raw twine on the last layout. I think raw twine goes really, really good with this collection. But for this one, this fresh beachy whatever with the pops of gold, I had to use my white and gold twine. I think it just looked better for this page. Here's another thing that all came on one piece that I thought looked really cool as one piece. But I decided I would cut them all apart into separate banners and just create this big banner in the upper left-hand corner. I haven't done like a banner thing in a minute, and I thought that would really take up that space really nicely, and I really love that that banner had all the colors in it already. So I'm just trimming them up. This is one thing that drives me crazy when I had perforated embellishment. I don't like seeing all the little dots on the roughly perforated edge. So I'm just trimming all those off. And I'm going to stick all of these banners down, and then I'll go back to the sticker sheet because there's some smaller banner stickers, and then I'm going to pop those up on some foam. So I have these smaller banners kind of layering on top of these bigger banners, and I just like how that looks so much because it really ties all the colors in up there. So I thought that was fun. I'm just trying to make sure I'm keeping my spacing proper, but I love that. So I go for this one navy banner towards the bottom of that sheet, and then I realize that banner is slightly longer than all those banners towards the top, and I couldn't have one small banner be slightly larger than the rest of the small banners, so I end up switching it out for the same colored banner up there. But I'm just trying to stagger the colors. I just want to make sure the color of the small banner isn't going over the same color of either the background or the banner it's sitting on. So I switched them around a little bit, but I'm just making sure this dark navy is over here on the aqua and the yellow, making sure the yellow doesn't run over the yellow banner and the pink doesn't run over the pink banner. But I think that's just a cute little banner. There's a tons of like flags and banners in this, with it being like a sailboat theme collection. So I had plenty to work with, and I liked that I got several of them used up on this page because I was worried I'd have all these flag stickers left over at the end of the month. So I'm glad I got to dig into those. I did pop this little escape up on some foam. I'm actually going to layer that right over the photo, kind of in the empty sky area, just for another pop of gold. And then here's where I added the Nuvo drops in and Heidi Swap Color Shine off camera because I forgot to restart it. But here are the close-ups of the first page. Stay tuned for page number 2 because I think this one turns out really cool.